Yo, what is up, guys? Ethan here, back with another video, and today we return with college football predictions. As today we have the Ole Miss Rebels. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And last year, Ole Miss was one of the biggest surprises of the college football season last year, as in the regular season they went 10-2 with their only losses in a bad loss versus Alabama and then versus Auburn. But Ole Miss had some big-time wins last year, and that was mainly because of head coach Lane Kiffin and quarterback Matt Corral. But Matt Corral is not returning for this upcoming season, as you can tell by the returning starters in production. 59 of the starters returned for Ole Miss, which is sadly 97th in the nation. 49% of the offensive starters returned, which is 113th in the nation. But 68% of the defensive starters return, as that is 60th in the nation. You may be saying, dang, there's no way Ole Miss can replicate their success off of last year, and that is a no. They had the second overall transfer portal class, and that is very, very evident as you look at this depth chart. Their quarterback situation is going to be very, very interesting in my opinion. You have transfer coming in from USC in Jackson Dart. He was really good at the time he was at USC. Or do you have sophomore and Luke Altmaier? He was the backup quarterback for Ole Miss last year. He played in the bowl game after Matt Corral got hurt versus Baylor. He did okay. He had 2 interceptions in that game, I'm pretty sure. But he wasn't great, but wasn't really that bad. But this quarterback battle is going to be very intriguing. But everyone thinks this is just Jackson Dart's job. That is a no. It's been very apparent that this quarterback class is going to be going into the fall. Personally, I would start Jackson Dart, as he has proven himself. But if Altmaier is the starting quarterback day one, I don't think that's going to be as big as an issue as people may seem it is. Because as we will get to the schedule, by the time they get to the tough games, they should easily have that quarterback situation figured out, as those first few games are really, really easy for Ole Miss, so that quarterback battle really wouldn't even be a factor in those games. You get a 5-star running back coming in from TCU, and that is Zach Evans. He really didn't play that much last year, but man, oh man, he's going to have a pivotal part of this team. He's probably, you can make the case that he is the best player on this team. I don't think so. It's one of the defensive transfers. But Zach Evans is going to absolutely kill it in the SEC this year, in my opinion. That second running back, I don't even know who it's going to be. It's either going to be Kentrell Bullock as he returns for his junior year, or you have a transfer coming in from LSU and Ulysses Bentley. I was really a big fan of Bentley at SMU and thought he was underutilized. Personally, I'm going to expect Bentley to be that second running back, but easily Kentrell Bullock can be that second running back. This wide receiver core, you do have a wide receiver in Jonathan Mingo returning. He was really good last year, but he really wasn't as utilized because you had other people on the depth chart like Dontario Drummond ahead of him. He's going to be that number 1 receiver, so I'm going to expect big things from Jonathan Mingo for this upcoming season. Also, you have a wide receiver transfer from UCF and Jalen Robinson. He's a redshirt senior. I'm not sure how effective he will be, but he is still a really good wide receiver. And then also you have Danish Jackson returning at that wide receiver slot. So overall, this wide receiver core is really pretty good. The tight end, I'm a really big fan, Michael Trigg. He transferred in with Jackson Dart from USC. He's probably going to be the day one starter, and I think he's going to be very utilized, so it's going to be very intriguing to see how Trigg is in this offense. And then with this offensive line, it's good, not great. It's probably in the middle of the pack with the SEC. Now, as we look at this defense, and Ole Miss is not going to be known for their defense. They're going to be known for the offense, but this defense is really underrated because of the transfers they have coming in. But a key guy that wasn't a transfer that was here last year was junior Cedric Johnson. He had 6.5 sacks on the year last year. He's probably going to be their key defensive starter returning from last season. But the main guys, the best players on this team, are actually the transfers. The main one, in my opinion, is Asheem Young. He was a top-tier safety at Iowa State. He transfers in, and he's going to have a day one impact. I think Asheem Young is going to be really, really good in this defense. You have Troy Brown, one of the best linebackers in the nation last year at Central Michigan. He transfers in from Ole Miss. Kari Coleman was a good linebacker at TCU. He's going to be transferring in. Like I said, they had the number 2 portal class for a reason, and you can see why. And then a dude I do want to talk about is true freshman Davidson Igbinosun. He was a 4-star cornerback from New Jersey, so I got tons of respect for him. He could have a day one impact at that cornerback slot, so look out for him. He's going to be an absolute beast for Ole Miss in the years to come, but he can have a day one impact as well. But now as we look at this schedule, man oh man, those first 4 games cannot be easier for Ole Miss in my opinion. I'm not even going to waste my time with the first 2. You're going to be starting out 2-0 for the Rebels. The third game you're on the road at Georgia Tech, my bad. Georgia Tech, this is probably going to be a big time game for Georgia Tech if Jeff Collins wants to keep his job, and he's not going to keep his job. So Ole Miss is going to win this game. And also with the loss of Jahmyr Gibbs, Ole Miss, by far, has more talent than this Yellow Jackets team. Next game, you host Tulsa. Tulsa is actually going to be a really underrated team in the American this year, but it really doesn't matter. Ole Miss will win that game. And then to start conference play, you host Kentucky, and this is going to be a really, really intriguing game in my opinion. And this is one of those games where it's like a 50-50 split, and since Ole Miss is at home, I always lean towards the home team. Ole Miss will win this game. Close game, if they were on the road or at home in my opinion, but also Ole Miss does have the talent factor in this one in my opinion. Ole Miss wins at home. Next game, you're at Vanderbilt. I really don't want to waste my time on this one. Ole Miss wins on the road. Next game, you host Auburn. And last year, Auburn beat y'all at Jordan-Hare. This time, it's in Oxford, and Auburn does lose talent. Ole Miss will win this game. And then, coming into this LSU game, you are 7-0. At this point in the season, you're probably like ranked 6, 7. You're going to be a top 10 team probably in the polls. But this is going to be your first loss of the season. It's always a tough place to play in Baton Rouge, and I'm really a big fan of this LSU team this year with Brian Kelly and that defense. This is going to be a close game. And personally, if this was at Ole Miss, I may lean towards the Rebels in this one. But since it's on the road at LSU, I'm going to have the Tigers winning this one. Next game, you're at Texas A&M. And same thing as I just said about LSU. I think Texas A&M's crowd is going to be a little too much for the Rebels in this one. Also, Texas A&M, in my opinion, by far has the talent factor in this one. Aggies win that. Then you have a bye, and then you host Alabama. Man, this 4-game stretch is brutal for the Rebels. And I'm going to have Alabama winning a very, very, very close game. This is not going to be like the game last year where Alabama absolutely dominated. No. I think this is going to be a close game. I think this crowd in Oxford is going to be absolutely wild in this one. And I think Alabama is going to just pull away because they have the coaching factor with Nick Saban. Next game, you're at Arkansas. Man, this end of the stretch here is just brutal. And personally, with the amount of talent on this Ole Miss team, I cannot see them losing 4 straight games. And the amount of tough games Arkansas has this upcoming season. And I'm going to have Ole Miss winning a tough game on the road. Close game. This is a 50-50 game. But I can't see Ole Miss losing 4 games in a row. And I think Ole Miss will win one of these games. I do think they will lose 3 of them. But I think they'll win 1. And based on the 4 games, Arkansas is the worst team. And they have the toughest schedule. Ole Miss wins in Fayetteville. And then to end the year, you host your rivals in Mississippi State. And like a few of these games on the schedule, it's one of those games where it's 50-50 and I lean towards the home team. I have the Rebels winning this one. Also, I think Ole Miss has more talent. This is going to be a close game either way because of the rivalry. Ole Miss will find a way to win. So in my opinion, I have the Ole Miss Rebels going 9-3 for this upcoming season with losses at LSU, at Texas A&M, and home versus Alabama. The ceiling for this team, I think it's 10-2. Let's say you beat Arkansas, and then I think you could beat Alabama. You could beat LSU. I think you're losing at Texas A&M, to be honest. But the floor for this team, with the amount of conference games that are tough, I could see a 7-5 season, but I can't see a 6-6 season or worse just because of the talent on this team, and I'm a big fan of Lane Kiffin. So what is your prediction for the Ole Miss Rebels for this upcoming season? Like always, like, share, subscribe, push notifications on so you don't miss any of my videos, and like always, have a good day. Peace out.